If you understand, what was going on in the street at that time and even now, word of mouth is everything, and death row became really hip on the street. Every young black entertainer wanted to be a part of it, so there was no problem finding talent at all. There was an understanding at death row that they weren't getting at the major companies.
One of the things about these major labels, they'll never understand street music. They'll never understand stuff that starts right there in the neighborhoods. They'll never understand it, never will, never will, never will. That's why you'll always have some young entrepreneurs who will come along, who will really understand how to do that and make a killing.
I'm not Hollywood. If you see me out somewhere, I don't care who you is. I'm gonna come over there, give you a hug, talk to you, how you doing, whatever. You ain't gonna speak to me, I ain't gonna do no, let's do lunch, I ain't with all that. I be like, what's up? I'm still from the ghetto.
It was a very, very good time for young kids looking for a break. There was an opportunity there. There were people there that understood them, understood what they were about. Kids would come in and want to audition right off the street.
Basically did the same thing Motown did. They took the mindset, the spirit, the dreams, the hopes and wishes and thoughts of the people of a time period, and they set it to music.
If anybody would really stop for a moment to analyze what really happened at death row, it's really a miracle. You have a company, a small company, run by a young black entrepreneur, and he releases 5 or 6 LPs, and all of them went at least, I think, double platinum. Now, it's a known fact in our industry, if you're working for a major and you release 10 LPs and you have 3 to 4 hit records out of the 10 that you release, you're considered a genius.
I think the most important thing in my situation that I wasn't coached. I think if a person is coached about the business, they're gonna continue to make the same mistakes that other entrepreneurs been making all along.
The appeal of Death Row Records and everybody wanting to join Death Row Records at the time was the fact that Suge Knight was a black man with a lot of power, and he was a fearsome individual. That's the type of person you want on your team.
Suge Knight is an intimidating individual. When he enters a room, you notice him. You can't help it. I think that he would be considered a handsome man, huge man.
Suge's tremendous size intimidated people. When you got a 300-pound guy saying something, it means a lot more than if you have Mickey Rooney saying it. Suge was bright enough to use his size much like Don King uses his hair.
The hype got so big that everybody started fearing.
I have friends who are at Sony, and one of them called and said, "Gee, we really want to get a track. Will you do me a favor? Could you go talk to Suge?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll go talk to him." And so I went over to see Suge, and I said, "Suge, what is it you're doing? You got people out here that are afraid to talk to you."
Suge became somewhat like a folk hero after a while. These stories just develop a life of their own. You got Suge doing everything from throwing people off of a 30-story building to, putting rocks and burying them in cement.
The media, they put bad names on people and, try to drag their name through the dirt or whatever, but now, as an individual, you got to do what you got to do to get paid.
He was a very brilliant businessman. Whatever his tactics might have been, whoever he had to step on to get there, his main objective was to just get there at any cost.
There's a genius, which is a part of him, and you know what they say about geniuses. They aren't far from being insane.
Suge Knight pretty much blew his cover by appearing on the cover of magazines, because now you're no longer a figure behind the scenes. Now you're a celebrity. You're making yourself a celebrity.
Originally, I told him that he should never put himself on front of magazines. Always stay in the cut, always stay in the background. That's how you have more power. But as the social thing started to grow and people started to recognize him as being the guy, he lost or forgot that teaching.
When Snoop's album comes out, this is the most anticipated rap album in history.
Doggy Style was, we through with the Chronic, it's all about you, Snoop. You the hottest thing coming out the West Coast in a long time, and Dre gonna produce it. And when Dre produce an album from top to bottom, you can't lose.
Tell us what we should expect on the new album.
Gangsta shit, you know what I'm saying? Smooth gangsta shit.
We're here at Tower Records in Marina del Rey, where this is really the hottest album on the shelves right now.
Since the album was released at midnight last night, at this store they've already sold 130 CDs and about 100 cassettes. It could be the hottest album ever. Get it before it's gone.
Nobody had ever in the modern era had their very first album go #1. A triple platinum album is $30 million to the record label. It's more like $45 million on the retail level. Death Row became the core of Interscope, which became the core of Warner Brothers' music money-making machine.
After the Snoop album came out, it was all gravy. Because, man, Death Row was flying high then. It was just so much money floating around Death Row for anything. I remember I used to keep thousands. I used to run through thousands of dollars a day.
They're making $100 million a year. They can buy anything they want. They can buy anybody they want. That made it all very, very serious business.